Hello, you're watching at the 109 English News. This is Jason. Here is the main news about Tiger Mother. Tiger Mother is a new term taken from the Battle Hymn of Tiger Mother by Cai Mei-er. Tiger mothers discipline their children in high pressure and strict ways. For example, no dinner, no water, and even no sleep. These methods may help children become more disciplinable, but it might influence the emotions between parents and children in a bad way. How can we educate our children in a better way? Are you teaching your children in a good way? Our reporter Angel is at the street. Angel, what is the situation now?
Hello, Jason. This is Angel. Right now, the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Annie and Paul. Annie, if I can question you first. Do you think this kind of educational style results in mental trauma in children? Why?
Yes, I do, because children will think learning is annoying and difficult, so they won't keep studying. Furthermore, the relationship between parents and children will be terrible.
Paul, can you give us your response on these questions?
Think no pain, no gain. You have to train your children to be stronger or they'll be a failure in this society. For the future, I think Cai Mei-er's educational style is better for them.
Paul, can I ask you another question? How will you educate your children in the way you think the best?
I will make a schedule for them and do something good for health like running or playing sport. I won't let him play with his friend. Maybe his friends are not a good guy. And I will control all his social activity.
Annie, can I also ask you the same questions?
I will encourage my children when they do a good job on their studies. I will also let them choose what they like and what they want in the future.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you, Paul. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are two different points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio, Jason.
Thank you, Angel. The news story is start to run. There are many ways to educate our children. Is to be strict the best way. It's important for us to reflect on this. I'm Jason, and you're watching at the 109 English News. Goodbye.
You are watching the 109 English News. My name is Albert. Here is the main news about the purpose of education between East and West. Eastern parents are usually seen as stricter than Westerner. In contrast, Westerner parents usually give more freedom to their kids than Eastern. We can find the difference between East and West in our daily life. For example, parents will give their children more space to do what they like, but Eastern parents will limit their children to study hard with less regard for interest. Our reporter Michelle is at Taoyuan Senior High School. Michelle, what is the situation now?
Albert, this is Michelle. Right now the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Julia and Edward. Julia, if I can question you first, we all live in the Eastern community. Can you imagine living in the West, and please talk about what your life will be like there?
I can imagine if I lived in a Western country. Maybe I would have more freedom and do whatever I loved. There would be no pressures and no parents nagging.
Julia, since you mentioned no pressure, may I ask you a further question? Although no pressure is the best thing in students' minds, but do you think give the students some pressure are much better?
I think suitable to give them some pressure is fine. I also think the teacher suitable punish student is fine too. Now students are gradually become more unorganized and uncreative.
Edward, can I ask you another question? Do you think Western education is good or bad, and why?
I think Western education is good because it can let children have more freedom, and the children can do what they want.
You just referred to independent on your parents. Can I ask you a follow-up question? Why is the trouble to independent on your parents?
I will do more things by myself, and I have to make money to rise up myself.
Thank you, Julia, and thank you, Edward. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are 2 points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Michelle. This news is set to run. We will keep you updated with their development. In the future, this is Albert, and you have been watching the 109 English News. Goodbye.
Hello, you're watching the 109 English News. My name is Victoria. Here is the main news about Tiger Mother. Few days ago, a famous writer, Cai Mei-er, claims that her daughters are well-behaved and clever now because of her harsh beat and scold. Cai said that by being a strict Tiger Mother, she has been a great help for her daughter. However, does the Tiger Mother's parenting style really benefit the children? Our reporter, James, is at Hutounshan. James, what is the situation?
This is James. Right now the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Helen and Melody. Helen, if I can question you first. Both Eastern parents and Western parents have their advantage. Which ones do you think are better?
I think Western parents are better than Eastern parents because they understand their children need to have more freedom. This is very important. It helps children so they can be responsible for themselves.
Melody, how about you?
I think Western parents are better because Western parents let their children feel relaxed and under less pressure when they are at home, so the children don't feel nervous and afraid at home.
Helen, can I ask you another question? There are many differences between Eastern parents and Western parents. What's the biggest difference between them?
I think Western parents are better because Western parents can help their children become more independent. If Eastern parents are too strict to their children, the emotion between themselves, they will turn bad.
Melody, how about
The
you?
ways to teach the children are different between Eastern parents and Western parents. Eastern parents give their children more freedom than Western parents.
Thank you, Helen, and thank you, Melody. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, both Helen and Melody support Western points of view. Back to you in the studio, Victoria.
Thank you, James. This news is set to run. We'll keep you updated the developments in the future. You have been watching the 109 English News. Goodbye.
Hello, you're watching the 109 English News. My name is Jenny. Here is the main news. From an early age, children have been told that education is the only way to succeed in life. And nowadays, as we can see, education serves multiple objectives. We could find our own interest in different subjects we learn, and find out what special abilities we may have from aptitude tests. The purpose of education varies from person to person. Some people cultivate a particular skill so they can join the workforce. Others would like to have the ability to compete in the global marketplace. Still others feel that education should be about preparing for citizenship. No matter how we regard education, we all should have passion on what we choose to learn. Our reporter, Gay, is at Taoyuan 109 classroom. Gay, what is the situation
Jenny,
now?
This is Gay. Right now the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Jackie and Amy. Hey Jackie, if I can question you first, what do you think about Taiwan's education system? Is it useful or not?
I think the education in Taiwan is terrible. The government gives students a lot of homework, and the students have too much pressure.
Okay Jackie, since you mentioned you think Taiwan's education isn't useful to you, may I ask you a follow-up question? If you were the Minister of Education,
Go
what
back
would you do
to
now?
the old system. The students have only one exam. Their pressure will be smaller.
Thank you, Jackie. So, Amy, can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Do you agree with the form of Western education?
Yes, I do. I think they have more free time to do what they want to do, so they must have more creativity in their work in the future.
Okay, Amy, you just referred to agree with the form of Western education. Can I ask you a follow-up question? What do you think about the form of Western education?
I think they have more freedom than us, but that doesn't influence their studies. They also think deeper than us, so they progress faster in many ways
than us.
Okay, thank you, Jackie, and thank you, Amy. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are two different points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio, Jenny.
Thank you, Gay. This news story is set to run. We will keep you updated with developments in the future. This is Jenny, and you have been watching the 109 English News. Goodbye.
Hello, you're watching the 109 English News. My name is Gay. Here is the main news. Helicopter parent. Helicopter parents mean those parents who care for their children too much. They give their children lots of pressure. In 21st century, parents now have fewer kids, and this situation gets more serious right now. So these parents will strive their hardest to give their children what they want, but it will risk making more children become mama's boy. Our reporter Joanne is at Taoyuan Senior High School Class 109. Joanne, what is the situation now?
Hello again, this is Joanne. Right now the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Kim and Cindy. Kim, if I can question you first. About helicopter parents, do you think their behavior is good for their child? Why?
Yes, I think helicopter parents' behavior is good for their child, and because they can control their child and make them grow up in a good way.
Cindy, can you give us your response on this question?
No, I don't think helicopter parents' behavior is good for their children because their children may not have ability to compete with others and will be the loser forever.
Kim, can I ask you another question? Do you think your parents are helicopter parents? Why?
Yes, I think my parents are helicopter parents because they always control me about everything in my daily life.
Cindy, can I also ask you the same question?
No, I don't think my parents are helicopter parents because they always let me do what I want to do.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you, Cindy. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are 2 points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio, Gay.
Thank you, Joanne. This news story is set to run. We will keep you updated with development in the future. This is Gay, and you have been watching the 109 English News. Goodbye.
Hello, you are watching the 109 English News. My name is Maggie. Here is the main news about different attitudes to education their children between East and West. It has been a hot topic for a meanwhile. Obviously, Chinese parents and American parents have really different concepts about how to educate their child. Asian parents usually adopt a strict policy in the education of their child, while Westerners choose a flexible approach to it. Which idea is really good for children? Our reporter Angel is at Taoyuan Senior High School. Angel, what is the situation now?
Hello, Maggie. This is Angel. Right now, the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Joanne and James. Joanne, if I can question you first. Which kind of education do you prefer, Eastern or Western? Why?
I prefer Western because Western education gives us more space to develop our interests. Then we can choose what we want to do.
Joanne, since you mentioned interest, can I ask you a further question? If your child choose a subject that you didn't want him or her to develop in future, what would you do?
I won't command him or her not to do that. On the contrary, I will back him up.
James, can I ask you another question? Do you think that giving children more space will make him or her a lazy person?
Yes, giving children more space will make them become a lazy person. So properly stress will make them improve.
James, you just referred to pressure. If I can ask you a follow-up question, don't you think that by giving children too much pressure, they will become short-tempered?
Maybe they will become short-tempered, but I think no pain, no gain. They will become more successful in the future.
Thank you, Joanne, and thank you, James. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are 2 different points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio, Maggie.
Thank you, Angel. This news story is set to run. We'll keep you updated with developments in the future. This is Maggie, and you have been watching the 109 English News. Goodbye.
开始。
Hello, you are watching the 109 English News. My name is Fernando. Here is the main news about helicopter parents. For the past few years, helicopter parents have become more and more vocal. Some colleges respond that a lot of freshman parents make phone calls to the school for their children. Maybe they just want to protect or are concerned for them. But colleges respond that freshmen need to learn how to be independent. They say it's like earning their own money or washing their clothes. To get more views on this topic, here is our reporter, Angelina, is at 109 class. What is the situation now?
Hello, Fernando. This is Angelina. Right now, the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Louis and Sophie. Louis, if I can question you first, do you think helicopter parents are good for students?
No. It may mean students lose their own control over themselves. I want them to decide their own lives, not depend for everything on their parents.
Sophie, can you give us your response on this question?
Yes, they protect their children from getting hurt. They give children a better place to study. I think that is a good way to help keep teenage children from getting hurt.
Louis, can I ask you another question? Do you think you are a helicopter parent?
No, I'm not. I give my children a lot of freedom. I think that it is necessary for kids to learn how to be their own master, to be responsible for their own future.
Sophie, can I also ask you the same question?
Yes, I think I will keep my children under my protection. They can focus on study and don't have to worry about other things. Parents have a responsibility to take care of their children.
Thank you, Louis, and thank you, Sophie. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are two different points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio, Fernando.
Thank you, Angelina. This news story is set to run. We will keep updated with developments in the future. This is Fernando, and you have been 109 English News. Goodbye.
Hello, you're watching the 109 English News. My name is Jenny. Here is the main news. Helicopter parents are a serious problem in society right now. They have been told they complain too much. This means their children aren't responsible for their work. In recent years, parents have started to involve themselves more in their adult children's lives. This has caused these young adults to be less independent and have unable to solve problems themselves. Parents now have high expectations of their children. For example, at Colgate University, parents regularly telephone administrators to complain about their children's assignments and grades. What's the best way is to educate our children is an important question for us to think about. Our reporter, Michelle, is at Taoyuan 109 classroom. Michelle, what is the situation now?
Hello, Jenny. This is Michelle. Right now, the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Angela and Edward. Angela, if I can question you first, could you please tell me what you are thinking about helicopter parents?
I think that it's good to protect my children from being bullied. It also can allow them group out in a family full of love and to concentrate on their school work.
Edward, can you give us your response on this question?
I don't agree because more protection will mean children don't have their own opinions and they will depend on their parents too much.
Angela, can I ask you another question? In this news, we saw how helicopter parents educate their children. So what do you think? Which way to educate the kids is the best way for them?
I think by giving them strict teaching, they can have better study habits.
Edward, can I also ask you the same question?
I think children need more freedom than restriction. It can help them grow up happily and can allow them become independent of their parents.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you, Edward. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are 2 points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio, Jenny.
Thank you, Michelle. This news story is set to run. We will keep you updated with developments in the future. This is Jenny, and you have been watching the Taoyuan 109 English News. Goodbye.
Hello, you're watching the 109 English News. I'm Jason. Today we're going to discuss about the different education ways between East and West. Eastern education is like a straight line. Everything is settled for you. However, Western education is more variety. More like to learn. Which way is better for our children? Our reporter, Kelly, is at the school. Kelly, what is the
This is Kelly. Right now the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Fernando and Amy. Amy, if I can catch you first. How can make education be more variety?
I think a more diversified education can come from change courses in the schools. There should be an increase in outdoor activities. The aim should be to increase reflective and
Since you mentioned course, may I ask you a further question? What do you think about the 12-year national education reform?
It may be good, but the implementation may be too quick, so there may not be a good result. A more diversified education isn't ready to be implemented. It may cost more time to be implemented.
Can I ask you another question? How can leaders make education more diversified?
Show what they are interested in. They should turn their interest into their profession. What they are interested in means what they like, so they will be happy in their learning.
You just refer to the word diversify. Can I ask you a follow-up question? What are the differences in educations between Eastern and Western?
Education prefers to focus on what you want. Each person has their interest, and they research their interest to become more professional. For Eastern education, the score is the most important, but also the truth.
And thank you, Amy. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are 2 different points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio.
Many different opinions. We'll keep updating the latest news for you. This is Jason, and you're watching the 109 English News. See you. Goodbye.
Hello, you are watching the 109 English News. My name is Maggie. Here is the main news, a really popular topic at the moment. It has been a really hot talk about Tiger Mother in the meantime because of an Asian mother who wrote a book named The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother. It has been a really different side between East and West about how to educate their kids. Is it good to use a harsh way to teach your child? Let's grasp the title and look it right now. Our reporter Amy is at Taoyuan Senior High School. Amy, what is the situation now?
Hello, Maggie. This is Amy. Right now, the situation is difficult. I'm standing here with Hans and Grace. Hans, if I can question you first, is there any bad influence on children's personality when their parents are tiger parents?
Yes, the children will have a lot of stress and maybe have depression. Although sometimes strict teaching helps children learn politeness.
Grace, can you give us your response on this question?
No, I think tiger mothering is good for me because they can help me progress in all aspects of my life and manage myself.
Grace, can I ask you another question? If your children is hard to manage, will you adopt the tiger mother's educational style?
Yes, I will take the tiger mother's educational style because too much freedom will make my child difficult to manage.
Hans, can I ask you the same question?
Well, I don't think this situation would happen, but if it did, I would set up some rules for my child. But basically, I don't like the tiger mother philosophy.
Thank Thank you, Hans, and thank you, Grace. Thank you both for speaking to us. As you can see, there are two different points of view on this issue. Back to you in the studio, Maggie.
Thank you, Amy. This news story is set to run. We'll keep you updated with developments in the future. This is Maggie, and you have been watching the 109 English News. Goodbye.